...2018 is already looking to be a very good year, because the first day of 2018, we have Overlord Season 2, Episode 1. So, yeah, it's around 2 o'clock in the morning of the time of me currently making this video, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to wait until in the morning, like around 7 or 8 or even 10 o'clock to record this. I want to do it now, because I just finished the episode. It was a really good episode, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make a video. This was just too good to talk about. I want to, you know, see what you guys think about it as well. So to start off right now, okay, this is Season 2. So if somehow you clicked on this video and you haven't seen anything else from Overlord, I'm just going to say right now, if you want to see, okay, the main character of a story being completely OP, but at the same time having problems to where he doubts himself and that he might not be that smart or have, like, anyone listen to him or whatever, then this is a series for you. And it's also set in an alternate reality, an alternate universe, basically, and a fantasy world, and just imagine, like, the fantasy equivalent to One Punch Man. There you go. That's the best way to explain it, even though it's not exactly like One Punch Man, like, you know, not the attitude or the satire like, you know, One Punch Man is. But basically, if you want a character that's completely OP and you want a fantasy setting stuff, here you go. But anyways, though, okay, this first episode made me very happy. And the reason for that is because it followed the original source. Now, I want to be honest, okay? It's been a while. It's been a while since I have read this part in the light novel. So I want to be completely honest here. It's been about a year and a half? I mean, when did Season 1 come out? When did Season 1 come out? I have forgotten when Season 1 came out. Did it come out last year, 2016? Well, not, actually 2 years technically now, if I think about it. Did it come out in 2016? I believe it did. So it's been a while since, you know, I actually read the light novels of this part, because when I started to read the light novels, I was actually in the middle of the anime. I think only episode 6 or 7 came out at the time, and then I started reading the light novels because I got really into the series. So it's been a while since I read this content, so to say. And from what I can remember, from what I read, it seems like Studio Madhouse, they are doing a fantastic job with this adaptation. They're following everything, and they're doing a good job with it. However, from watching this episode, there is something that was a little bit weird to me. What I'm stating is that apparently, from what I can see Studio Madhouse is doing, it looks like they're kind of putting all the beginning introductions from different arcs in the volumes in this episode. Like, that's what it looked like to me. Now, I could be wrong. I could be not remembering things, because like I said, it's been a while. But looking at the first episode of Season 2, it looked like they were putting a bunch of mini-arcs, like all these arcs that happen in the individual light novel arcs and stuff. It looks like they're putting all the beginning parts of it right then and there in this episode, which would be very good, actually. It'd be a very good way to adapt the series, in my personal opinion, because I like Overlord. It's a really good series. However, there was some points in the series to where I wish we were focusing on other characters besides a certain set of cast of characters, and so I was thinking, like, you know, if they were going to actually strictly follow the light novels, it was going to be about maybe 3 to 4 episodes of Lizardman. But it does seem, by the way this episode was structured, that they plan on, like, putting everything that happens, like, for multiple volumes, and their introductions is slowly progressing for their plot points with individual episodes. So we have pieces of these individual arcs going on at the exact same time, because in reality, in the series, they were kind of going on at the exact same time. So it would make sense for Studio Madhouse to do this. So I am very, very pleased with that, if that is what is going on. Like I said, I could be misremembering because it has been a while, so forgive me if the details are a little bit fuzzy. But anyways, let's get into the content of the episode. So overall, art and animation, it looked good. It looked good. It actually looked a lot better than Season 1, which makes a lot of sense, because like I said when I was talking about, you know, the trailers, the previews, and then the announcement, it's obvious that Studio Madhouse are probably going to put a lot more effort and focus into this season. And the reason for that is because Season 1, when it was made, it was obvious that it was meant to be a teaser and to get people to read the light novel, which it did a good job with, but the fact is it did too good of a job. The anime was very successful, and then because of that, Madhouse like, oh crap, we gotta make a Season 2, and I mean, this time we can't just make it like a teaser type, you know, series. We actually legit gotta make a Season 2. So, I believe Madhouse is gonna put a lot more effort into Season 2, because Season 1, it did cut out some things, not even gonna lie there. It was good in its own way, but it did cut out some things, and like I said, it probably came down to the point they thought it was just gonna be a teaser to go read the light novel. became popular, here we are now. So, yeah, that's my overall opinion of it. And so, the season overall, Season 2, Episode 1, looks beautiful. Art looks great. The adaptation, from what I can remember, looks really good. So, we're definitely on track for a very good series, and definitely a good start to 2018. So, what happened? So overall, from what we can see here, there's a lot of setup going on. I mean, a lot of setup for a lot of arcs. We have so many different things going on, and many might be actually completely confused. They're like, whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? And it did a good job of explaining what, you know, Ainz was doing, what he's planning on the side and all that, while all the other, you know, Guardians, Floor Guardians are doing, what role they're playing in the story, how some are going to the Holy Kingdom, some are building a fake Nazarick and all of that, like a decoy Nazarick, Ainz being an adventurer, you know, being Momonga, and then we also have the stuff with Shaltir and all that, with how she feels guilty for what happened in the events of Season 1 or the previous volumes if you read the light novels. So basically, there's a lot of setup going on here. I mean, a lot of setup. I mean, even Albedo actually being the controller of, you know, the Nazarick, the Tomb of Nazarick, and watching over it while Ainz is away. So, I mean, all this little setup here and there is for future arcs of the series, and judging by all of this setup, it does look like Studio Madhouse is going for the long game with this season. And what I mean by that is, I believe the way they're making this, with all the setups with the individual arcs and characters, it looks to me like they plan on going over 12 episodes this time. That's what it looks like to me. Now, I could be wrong there. I don't know if an episode count has been announced yet. I don't know. I haven't actually looked myself. But I'm going to believe by the way this is being structured, especially by the first episode, it's going to easily be over 12 episodes or 13 episodes. And if for some reason it's not over 12 to 13 episodes, we're going to get a Season 3. It's obvious. We're going to get a Season 3. It looks like they're really trying to adapt it properly. So that makes me happy as an Overlord fan. So, anyways, next to talk about, though, let's talk about the just glorious Albedo scene with Ainz in this episode. That made me very happy, because I love Albedo. I love her character. I've always loved her since she was first introduced into the series. I love Demon Girls. I love her design. I like how she falls for Ainz. Just her overall interaction with this man is extremely funny, because when you see her when she's not interacting with anyone else, she acts like this very serious person that's just like, whoa, she's kind of a jerk, okay? But then when you see her with Ainz, you just can't help but laugh because of how lovey-dovey she gets. It's cute. It's adorable, and I love her for that. And seeing her in this episode acting like she did towards Ainz, saying, like, you know, I should have wore the naked apron and all that, like the battle suit. I'm like, oh, like this. Like, I love her. I love her a lot just because of how she acts around him. And then also hearing Ainz inside of his head, like, what? Like, I need to calm down. They're like children. All these little things. It's funny. I couldn't help but laugh. Now, let's actually talk about that. So this episode did do a good job of kind of clarifying what happened in Season 1. You had all these little details here and there, explaining what Shaltir did, explaining about the world-class items, the 20 and all that, explaining, you know, kind of what, you know, Ainz did in the last season. You have all these little things in this episode that were kind of like recap, which makes sense because, like I said, it has been a while since this stuff happened. For instance, Season 1 aired, and so it does make sense for Studio Madhouse to have a little bit of recap here and there for us to kind of understand what has happened. So the structure of the episode, to the recap, to the voice acting, art and animation, it was spot on. I literally have no complaints. I legit have no complaints. It may be because of my bias for the series, because I do like Overlord quite a bit. I mean, I've read all of the light novels. I'm up to date. Read Volume 12 very recently. Good series, and so it could be my bias talking of why I love this episode, but it just, in terms of being a fan of the series and reading light novels, good episode. Overall impressions, very good episode. Now let's talk about that music for a second. So I listened to that ending song, the credits scene of the episode. Now I don't know if that is the actual ending song or if that is the opening song for Overlord Season 2. Regardless of whatever it may be, that song at the end of the episode was quality. Like, that was a very good song. Fit the emotions and vibe of the series. That definitely the song selection that Studio Madhouse chose for Overlord, that was a good choice of, you know, song. The vibe of it, the music, and all of that, perfect. So, yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, there's not really much more to talk about because I don't want to dive too deeply into spoilers. I want to wait till more content builds up before I can talk about it. I mean, we had a lot of setup going on with the dragons, the dragon lords, the Holy Kingdom, to the king and all that, and seeking help and all that, to seeing, you know, the other decoy Nazarick being made. I mean, we had the stuff going on with, you know, Ainz setting up for plans of, you know, making actual duplicates of the world map. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and I think one of the most important things that we need to focus on at this moment, though, is definitely the stuff with the Lizardmen and also Shaltir. Those are the two big critical points I think many of us should be paying attention to, because that was the most important parts, I think, of the episode. Besides the dragon, obviously, that was extremely important, because that's for the late game of the story, like, very far off into the future. That dragon stuff was important for that, but besides that, overall, I think the main stuff that we should be paying attention to for now, at the very least, is the Lizardmen and Shaltir. Now, how does everybody feel about the Lizardmen? I want to ask that quick question before I end this video. The Lizardmen, the arc of the Lizardmen and all that, it's a very interesting segment of the series, and many, I remember, complained about that arc because it was just very weird. It changed the perspective, the point of view of the story from Ainz over to them, and it made a little bit of people that were watching the series or, you know, reading it for the first time, like, this is very weird. It's just like, I wish we would go back to Ainz. And so I'm kind of curious, how do you all feel, anime onlys, how do you feel about the Lizardmen in this episode? Because I don't know exactly how it's going to be handled. I mean, if Studio Madhouse is wanting to adapt, like, different segments of all these arcs at once and slowly progress the story, then you probably won't have to deal with seeing nothing but the Lizardmen, but I still want to ask everybody's opinion. How do you feel about the perspective, point of view, changing from Ainz and focusing on Ainz to other characters? For instance, like, what's going on with the king, what's going on with, you know, the other kingdoms, and what's going on with, you know, the Lizardmen. Just tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about that? I'm just very curious because it is a big thing with Overlord and its storytelling, so please be honest in the comments below. So I want to end it there. You all have a very, 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 very wonderful day or night wherever you live, and Happy New Year's, everybody. Even if it's already past New Year's at the time of you watching this video, or maybe it's later off in 2018 or 2019, 2020, whatever. Happy New Year's. Have a really, really good rest of the year and a great day. I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. I love you guys. Please be safe. Stay warm. Chibi out.